All right, so this is my review for Rogue City. It came out a bunch of months ago. I don't know when. It was on Netflix. I saw someone review it, so it must have been at the beginning of the year. I'll have to check. But it is a Netflix show, as it's labeled. But I'm pretty sure it's a Netflix bought the rights to or has rights to produce it. It is a French film. And the plot of this thing is, I don't really know. That's one of the things about this movie I have an issue with. And from what I can gather of what I understood, is it revolves around some sort of law enforcement, two different types of gang and drug enforcement, and then there's two other gangs in here. I don't know if they're like Italian or what. I couldn't really figure out. I think the other one is, one of them, the gangs is Spanish. I don't know. They don't really, explain much for me of what you can get into the story. And the whole movie, I was trying to figure out, just from looking at the places to the people to, race-wise and style of clothing, and just the layout in general, is where the hell does this take place? I'm guessing it takes in France, but I don't really know because they didn't really explain it. And that honestly was one of the many things that took me out of this movie, and I just... And I mean, a lot of things has a lot of plot hole twists to it, a lot of character problems. There are a couple characters in here that they put in here that there was this no backstory to them, no lead up to them. They just came into here, and apparently some of the people knew them. There's a specifically blonde paramedic in here that strikes me as that. So it is a French film, and you do get either dubbing or subtitles. So the subtitles in here, which this was, there was no dubbing. I mean, no, there was dubbing, but there was no subtitles in this. There were subtitles in there, but there was part where they're actually dubbing, where it speaks English, and for some reason they're saying what they're saying in English, and there's definitely your usual European where they have a title in there and it translates that. Other than that, there's no subtitles. It's dubbing, and the dubbing was fine. Definitely compared to the ridiculous one, kind that was in my last review of the zombie one. They took it more seriously in this, for sure, which is much appreciated. And again, the dubbing was fine. For me personally, I know it's still something that would bug people, but it wasn't like silly. However, one issue I have with the dubbing is the fact that the great French actor Jean Reno, last I checked, he speaks English. So obviously what they did is, because this is obviously originally made towards French people, so they're going to speak in French. And then for the English audience later on, they're going to dub it in English or any other language that other countries have. But what I don't understand is, you could clearly tell that wasn't his voice. Again, he speaks English. So why use someone else's voice to dub him over if he already knows to speak English? Maybe I'm missing something there, but I don't think I am. It was a little bit hokey, but they didn't have a whole lot of them in here. Again, plot holes are in here, but I think what stand out the most was the stupid decisions. And one of the ones that you first see that I just immediately was like shaking my head, and I won't get into the specifics of the other ones in case you want to check this out for yourself, but there's definitely a good amount. It's about 5 or 7 of them. But this one stand out to me the most. One of the gangs goes and has these guys, about, I don't know, I think it was like 6 or 7 of them, and they go and they shoot this place up. So everyone's running crazy, and one of the guys gets shot in the chest through, not through, but into the bulletproof vest one time, right? Um, so he ends up being left by the other guys, and for some reason, he decided to, get this, drop his gun and his vest and anything he was else wearing this guy that he had on him, his gear, and put it in a box that's right on the crime scene. And then he decides to stay there, wait for the cops, and pretend that he is a victim, he is part of the party. From where the area he was to the fact that it's Europe, I'm pretty sure he had at least 20 minutes or even more to leave. He only needed like a couple minutes to leave. He had enough time to leave. It baffles me how he thought in his mind that it would make sense just to stay. There's definitely a lot of action in here. A lot of, well, not a lot, but there's a good even amount of action here. Definitely a lot of nudity. I definitely could have done without the full-on naked dude running out of the building, being chased, and flying everywhere. You get a lot of the typical stereotype with these French movies that is smoking, like everyone's smoking all the time, and they make it dramatic. That nowadays I don't feel like that's suitable unless it's like one person or two that do it. I think when it comes to movies that are made in like World War II or World War I or say the 1800s or something, that's where it fits, even if the movie was made today but it was on that period piece, because that's more historically accurate. This is just more of a nuisance in my personal opinion, and I'm not necessarily, it's at this point where it's kind of overused, and the French do it very well. And I believe the Germans do it too with modern films. I don't know, I don't really recognize anything they've seen that wasn't World War II based. But the acting was good as far as I could tell, because it's dubbing. The action scenes again were good. They were believable. They were, there was one scene there where it wasn't really necessarily the action that's the problem. It was more of how the blood impact of from coming out was a bit, and the way I flew was a bit. You could say it was the acting of the actor or the what do we call those guys that the stunt guy. The editing was good too. Other than that spot, some of the kills, the ending is definitely, and I won't be specific. It was the stupidest. It was really stupid. I didn't like it. But then again, I couldn't follow the whole story because I was so out of I couldn't get in the story. I couldn't connect to characters. There was a beautiful redhead in there that had a huge part in here of the main character. I guess he's the main character. I think there's a lot of great camera shots in here, for sure. And the camera quality is very, very good, high quality. But what it really comes down to is the story. The writing of this, it was really bad. It was really bad in my opinion. It just had so many plot holes, so many missed problems with it, and just logic and the way they went around certain things, characters and actions of the people. It wasn't that great, and I was just bored and done with the movie about 40 minutes in. So, but I did watch it, obviously. But But yeah, I give this movie a... I give it 1.5 out of 5 stars. I wasn't going to give it a 2, but I just was so upset at the end of watching this. It's on Netflix again, so it was technically free, so to speak, because I'm paying for the monthly thing. I wouldn't recommend the movie, but please let me know in the comments below what you thought. If you saw this movie, have you heard of it? Do you think it was a good movie? Didn't like the movie? Let me know in the comments below. You know, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. And happy No Shave November / November. Thanksgiving's at the end of the month, so obviously. And thank you for watching, and I love you all. Skull.